welcome to yet another movie review. Now, this is just another review, so nothing too fancy about this one. It's just going to be nearly like the last one, right? Okay, let's get down to it. Now, this movie review is all about this movie called Deathgasm. Now, Deathgasm is not an American film, it's actually a New Zealand horror comedy film, and it's not really horror, it's more comedy, and this movie is hilarious. Now, this movie released in 2015, and it's about two misfit heavy metal crazy guys who unintentionally summon demons, and yeah, those demons are there to take over the world. Now, this film follows the main character named Brody and his best friend, basically. And Brody is kind of like a social outcast because people think he's like a Satanist, since that's basically what he does in school. He doesn't listen and all that stuff. He just draws like Satanist type things, and he's really into heavy metal and stuff like that. So yeah, and he meets this guy over at a record store who pretty much is just like him. He was expelled for basically stabbing a person, but he's also in kind of like the same position. So they meet up and they're like, "Oh, dude, you're so cool." This movie is hilarious, like no joke. So once these two hook up, him and a couple of other of his friends that Brody meets at school, who are kind of like in the same position, though they're not really heavy metal fans, they're more like nerds. Got like stuff like Dungeons and Dragons and that type of stuff, like paperback role playing. And they start a heavy metal band below Brody's house, whose father is heavily Christian, and them hearing them band down there kind of makes them mad and stuff like that. But yeah, so they start a band and called Deathgasm. So while thinking of new records or new hits to play and stuff like that, they break into a dude's house after they found out that he's like one of the main people, a part of another band, and they're like, "Oh, dude, we gotta steal this record from him because he's holding a record," and he does. And apparently, after they steal it, which he catches them in the process, a couple of people show up and to also steal it, and he holds them back while he's like, "Dude, take it away as fast as you can, don't let them take it." And so Brody and his friend end up with the record and stuff like that, and find out it's just like a dud record. But the main thing was a piece of paper of really old music, like ages old it looks like, and yeah, it's where it gets really turny a bit, you know. Basically, that record is a gateway to hell. So they play this music, which sounds like cool. It's like down, 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 and it makes people go crazy as it opens the gateway to hell, and people get possessed by demons and all that stuff, and it's basically the apocalypse. And these demons, they're zombies. You tell me they're demons? They're not demons. They're zombies. Like, seriously. They act like zombies, and they're zombies. Here, their goal is to basically stop the zombie apocalypse and all that stuff, and the way they do it, it's pretty obvious, but it turns and stuff like that, and the devil, I forget his name, but the devil comes in, or a certain demon devil comes in, he's like, "Oh, yeah." This movie is hilarious. I loved this movie. It was crazy funny, and it was a good movie, just believe me on that. And so yeah, that's the end of this movie review, and if you like comedy, and if you like light horror, it's not really scary, but it's classified as horror, comedy horror. Think of Scary Movie, like that series. It's kind of like that, but funnier. A lot funnier than Scary Movie. So if you like those types of movies, you'll love this movie. This movie is not a spoof movie at all. It's standalone New Zealand comedy. It takes place in New Zealand, and yeah, it's pretty good. So I'm gonna give this movie a 97 out of 100. So, yeah, 97 out of 100. Yeah! It was a good movie. I highly recommend this movie. You can find it on Netflix. It recently popped up on Netflix like a few days ago, so check it out. It is hilarious. And leave a like, comment, subscribe. If you've seen this movie, let me know. Tell me what you think in the comments section. That would be awesome. But yeah, so thank you all for watching. And remember, stay hypnotized.